In this video, I'm going to break down how I made $50,000 this month trading futures. I'm gonna give you my whole strategy. I'm gonna break everything down. So hopefully you can replicate some of the success in your trading journey. Or if you never traded before, maybe you'll learn what the is up so you can start getting some of this money with us, all right? So the best part about this is I didn't even have to use my own money. I use something called a prop firm, and I'll break this down for you in a minute. I've been trading futures for past 5 years. I started trading during the pandemic because I was living in Manhattan at the time, Upper West Side, 72nd and Broadway. And New York got locked down first and couldn't out. Everybody was in the crib and I was in the crib. So I was like, all right, time to pick up a new skill. I read everything I could about trading, about 20 books on trading. This is the best one, Trading in the Zone. I bought every course there was, every course I could find, and went through. I probably went through about 20 courses. And first I tried trading stocks with my own money, right? You know, I lost money at first, then I made money, but when I was making money, it wasn't like enough for me to get excited, especially because I was already rich, right? So it wasn't enough money for me to get excited, but it was something to do, right? It was something to do during lockdown. Even the gyms were closed. Then I started trading options, which was cool because I had more leverage. I can make more money, but there was like a complexity to it that I didn't love so much, right? And that's when I learned about trading futures, because futures had the simplicity of trading stocks, but it also had the leverage of trading options, right? So I went all in on options, right? And I was trading with my own money. I dug way deep into it. I did as much as I can. I developed a strategy that worked pretty well for me. My first year, I made $20,000 in a whole year, like $20,000, which it sounds cool. I mean, it's fine, right? But you know, I made fucking millions in my business, right? But it was a cool hobby. And I just kind of treated it like a hobby for the next 4 years. I still fucked with it, but it was just a hobby. I didn't really talk about it that much because I wasn't putting up like any numbers that were crazy. I stayed around the 20, 30. I think one year I made $40,000 like total for the whole year. But about a year ago, I learned about prop firms, where prop firms is where you can trade with the prop firm's money and you get most of the profit instead of having to put up your own money. The main prop firm that excited me was one called Apex. Because with Apex, you can have 20 accounts at once, right? And you can trade with all of them simultaneously with a trade copier. So my boy who first told me about this, he had 20 accounts that were each worth $150,000. That's about $3 million he was trading with. I didn't have $3 million in my trading account. So I was like, oh man, this is crazy leverage. So I got into it. I had him kind of show me what he was doing and show me about it. You know, it took a minute to get used to some of the rules. I'm going to talk about that later, how some of the rules can fuck you and how some of the rules fucked me over a few times because there's a lot of rules. You know, when I was trading my own money, I could do whatever the fuck I want. Who gonna stop me? Nobody. But with Apex, you got to follow certain rules in order to get what they call a payout, where they pay you out portions of your profit. And now I have been able to get payouts. So let me show you something. So these are the recent payouts that were denied, right? I had a lot of denied ones this month. You can request a payout every 8 trading days. And I had a lot of denied payouts, and I'll explain why these payouts were denied later. But if we go back to the ones that were approved, there's a lot of denied because this is for every account. But then we get to the ones that was paid. Boom, paid. Then back to denied. So, so if you count all of those together, 19 of my 20 accounts got approved for a payout of $2,750. That equaled about just over $51,000. Right? Now I'm going to break down how I did this. Now it's not easy because remember, it's not like you're going to just be able to do what I tell you in this video and you're going to make $50,000 next month, right? It's not like that. I've been trading for over 5 years and I've got lots and lots of hours of doing this shit, all right? But I'm going to break this down for you. And I'll tell you why my other payouts got denied. The key to my strategy is it was important that I got 20 accounts that were $150,000 each. So now I'm trading with about $3 million simultaneously. And then I set up my chart in a kind of unique way. You'll watch other people's trading videos, other guys, man, they doing ICT, you know, and all this other shit. And I'm friends with a lot of guys. I'm cool with Casper. I'm not cool with TGR. We got mutual friends though. I seen him out. One of his cribs is over there. Like I see him around and shit. I'm cool with these motherfuckers, right? But I just trade differently. I found something that worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you. Maybe it won't. So this is my trading setup. I have one computer that all I do is trade on this computer and I work on my other computer, right? And this is a laptop, boom. And it's connected to this monitor. It's a vertical monitor. and that's for a reason, right? I trade off the 15-minute chart. So the 15-minute chart is right here. This is what I trade off of. But I keep the 2-minute chart up just as it's more of an indicator. And I'll explain that to you in a minute why. But I keep both charts up, but I trade off the 15-minute chart. I know y'all seen me with some videos with the homie Casper, SMC. He showed that he trades with no indicators because he's doing ICT style trading, and that's cool. That's my boy, you know. I was talking to him today. But I like indicators. And the indicators I have set up on my 50-minute chart are the 21 exponential moving average, the 50 exponential moving average. The most important one is the 200 exponential moving average, right? That's like my North Star, and I'll explain the strategy in a minute, right? The 200 EMA. Then I have two other indicators. I have the RSI, Relative Strength Index, for you nerdy motherfuckers. But I change it. Its default is usually on 14. I put it on 2 because I want it to be super sensitive, right? And I keep up the MACD. And these are my indicators, right? I'll go over the strategy in a minute and why I pick those and what they do, right? But then I also have something called an ATM strategy because I'm trading with Ninja Trader, right? Basically, when you place a trade, it'll have your take profit and your stop loss, right? Now, before, if y'all watch my other video on this shit, my shit was a little crazy just because I didn't give a fuck about the stop loss, homie. I had a 20 tick take profit and I put the stop loss like as big as possible, and I would just move it way down. I just move it out the way. I'll explain why later, right? But I had to change that because that was why some of my payouts got denied, because Apex wants you to have 5-to-1 risk reward ratio, right? If your take profit is 40 ticks, then your stop loss can't be no further than 200 ticks, right? And that's what it is now. That's my ATM strategy. 40 tick take profit, 200 tick stop loss. I ain't give a fuck about the stop loss, man, because of the way I trade, right? That's why those payouts got denied, because they didn't catch me doing that shit when they gave me the first payout. But then the second payout, I had enough bread in there, like a whole lot of money in there, and they denied that one, but they took a long time to tell me. After I applied for that payout, they took a few days to tell me I got denied and why, right? But by that time I had already been trading that way during the next payout period. That was some trickery, Apex. It's all good though. I got you, man. Don't even trip. Otherwise, this video would be how I made over $100,000. But that's cool. Here's my strategy. This is super unorthodox. Most of y'all motherfuckers are gonna say it's crazy. The experienced traders gonna say that's not gonna work, right? I just like you to suspend your disbelief for a moment. Maybe, shut the fuck up. If you trade with a prop firm and you ain't got over 50 grand worth of payouts this month, shut the fuck up. Just listen, bitch nigga. The first thing I do is I pick a direction. Am I going long or am I going short? That's actually the beauty of trading futures. You basically got a 50% shot, right? It's like a coin flip, right? But you want to find an edge. And the way I decide if I'm going long or if I'm going short is the 200 EMA. I look at the 2-minute chart and the 15-minute chart. The only reason the 2-minute chart is up to see if it's above or below the 200 EMA. This white line is 200 EMA. I make it thick, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of them thick white girls. 2-minute and the 15-minute, they got to be on the same side of the 200 EMA. As you can see, I'm looking for shorts. Oh, you might not be able to see it that well, right? Honestly, but they're both under. If sometimes it'll be above on one and below on others, that's when I just sit on my hands. And the reason we're doing this is because the strategy that I use is highly dependent on the trend and you being on the side of the trend. If both of these charts are on the same side of the 200 EMA, I feel good about the trend going in that direction because it's on a short time frame and it's on a longer time frame. I give the most credence to the 15-minute chart, but that's the key. First, I find the trend and I base that off the EMAs on both charts. After we established if we're going long or short, I'm basically ignoring the 2-minute chart. Now, all right, now I'm going short. So what the fuck am I looking for? So if it's under both 200 EMAs, I'm looking for shorts. If it's above both 200 EMAs, I'm looking for longs. But when do you take the long? I wait for a pullback. So if I'm looking for a long, I'm waiting for it to pull back. Where? To one of those EMAs or support and resistance that I've marked. So I'll mark support and resistance that I see. If I'm on a long, if I'm going long, I'm waiting for it to come down and bounce off support, waiting to touch support. Then I go long, right? Or touch one of those EMA. Preferably, they link up. That's when I feel super confident, when the EMAs and the support and resistance are at the same spot. That's when I feel super confident. But I'm only looking at the 15 for the execution, right? The sole purpose of the 2-minute is just to confirm the trend. It's almost like an indicator for me. This is super weird. I've never heard anybody saying anything like this. If y'all heard another motherfucker saying this type of shit, then let me know who it is. I'd like to see their work, right? And I don't mean it in no diss way. Like I really would like to see what they're doing, because everybody else, man, these ICT traders, they got so many different strategies, so much shit. I'm just like, all right, man, cool, cool. But I make money doing this. When I do my support and resistance, man, sometimes I'll leave them to the next day, save my chart. Sometimes they'll be valid the next day or for days. When I make the trade, I go in one contract, but I'm using software that copies my trades to all 20 of my accounts. So I have one leader account and a software I use called Replicanto by Flowbots. It copies my trades to all 20 accounts, but I go in one contract, which really means I'm going to one contract on each account, which means I'm going in 20 contracts. Again, I may not mention this. This is only on NASDAQ futures. It's important. I only trade one instrument. And the reason is because when you trade one instrument over and over again, you get a feeling of how it moves. You start to know it better. You get what I'm saying? Over a long period of time, because everything moves a little different. And I got a good feel for NQ, for NASDAQ futures. Now check this out. I go in one contract. If the trade goes against me, let's say I went long and the trade went against me, I will have more buy orders at either EMAs or other support and resistance below it. So I'm dollar cost averaging into it. My last video, somebody said that Apex doesn't let you. Nope, you can go right on Apex 3.0 rules. It says right there, dollar cost averaging is cool as long as you mind the risk to reward ratio. So it's all good. And let me show you what that looks like. Here's the thing. Once I go in one contract, I'll move my take profit closer to my break even, because now I don't need to go as high to make the amount of money I wanted to make, if that makes sense. All right, so here's what one of these trades looks like. Let's go. I filmed this with my Meta Ray-Bans because I'm not a fucking YouTube trader. I'm not out here with OBS on my screen and shit. All right, so I'm in the trade. I was already up. Okay, this is the 15-minute chart. You can see I have these sell orders. I'm going short because they're both under the 200, right? I have these sell orders stacked, okay, on top of each other at support and resistance or the EMAs. Check this out. Okay, I'm in that trade. Boom, it went against me. I'm staying calm, relaxing, chilling. And then when it hit now it just hit my other trade. Now I'm in two contracts across 20 accounts. So I'm in this bitch 40 contracts deep. What's going to happen? Am I going to lose it all? Well, let's see. I'm moving my take profit down. Oh, so I moved my take profit like in half, because to hit what I wanted to hit, I don't need it all, right? Got it. Boom. And then it shot back down and hit my take profit. Boom. Win in trade. Easy money. So I made, around $100 per account on that trade. So what's that? Over 20 accounts, $2,000 in that amount of time. And what time is it? It's 30 seconds after market open, because I sit at my computer before the market is open, right? 30 seconds, quick $2,000. Everybody's happy. Doesn't always work out like that. Sometimes you gotta lose, right? Sometimes it'll start moving in a way. I'm like, oh, I gotta get the fuck out of here, all right? That's the basic strategy. It's super simple to me. It sounds simple to me, but maybe it's complex to you. I find the trend. The trend is your friend. Trend is your best friend. If you find the trend when you're trading futures, you almost got to fuck it up. It really gives you the edge. Anything can happen, to be clear. Anything can happen. But if you find the trend, man, you're in good shape with futures. And that's why I use a shorter time frame and a longer time frame to confirm trend. I will not take a trade if the 15-minute and the 2-minute are on opposite sides of the 200 EMA, because I just feel like the trend is not confirmed. What that means is some days I don't trade. Some days I sit at my computer for 2 hours and I don't trade, and that's fine. Another question in my last video, someone asked, how many trades do you take per day? I'm down to take 100 and I'm down to take 0. I take what the chart gives me. Now, you may be thinking, what about the RSI and MACD? Why the fuck you got that up? I'm glad you asked, nigga. Let me explain. Now, this chart looks crazy. I don't trade off this. This is just there. This is as crazy as mad indicators on here. Don't just ignore this shit. I keep this up on another fucking screen. I have 5 screens. And I keep this on one of them just to look, but I keep it on the 15. Ignore all these moving averages. I got to clean this chart up. But the reason I have this up here is only for the MACD and the RSI 2. Now, what I'm doing with the MACD? So there's another rule. I'm looking for, if there's a divergence in the MACD, I won't take the trade. So for example, this was happening in pre-market today. I didn't take a trade today because earlier in the day, both charts, my 15-minute and my 2-minute, were above the 200 EMA. I was like, all right, cool, let's look for long. Now, this was all-time highs. What I noticed is as it was going up, price was going up, the MACD was going down. And I don't take a trade if there's a divergence on the MACD, because in my experience, whenever I see a divergence, it ends up going down to the 200. It might blast past it. It ends up going to the 200 at some point. This red one is at 200. And so I just didn't take a trade today. I could have went short. Some people in our trading group, we have a trading community called Victory Trades. Some people, I told them, I ain't doing shit, y'all. And this one dude, someone went short at the open. Motherfuckers made a lot of money, which is cool. I ain't do shit. And then when it went down, it fucked around out. These are 15-minute candles, right? So it fucked around on here, and then I had to leave. And by the time it went below the 200 here, where it was well below the 200 on 2 minute, I could have took this trade. Like this is exactly what I would have took, right? Bam, down here. However, I was fucking gone by then. Like I was doing other shit, running my business, went to the gym with my girlfriend. You know, I was living life, man. I can't stay here all day, man. Wait till fucking noon. The MACD is here just to see if there's a divergence. Another thing, now RSI 2, why am I got the RSI 2 up? Well, the RSI 2 is something I use. So I keep it on 2 because I want it to be super sensitive. If I'm looking for shorts, I want it to be oversold. If I'm looking for longs, I want it to be overbought, because you get this snapback a lot of times, not every time, but it's another form of confirmation, right? So if I would, so this looks like exactly a trade I would have took right at this fucking 200. Boom, I would have took that for sure, especially because at this point it was overbought. There was no MACD divergence at this point, and it was overbought. I would have for sure took that if I was at my computer, like 100%, because it would have felt good. Here's the thing: last time I did this video, few people hit me up talking shit. I get it. That's cool, man. It sounds unorthodox. I'd like you to suspend your disbelief. Backtest the strategy, right? If you got Ninja Trader or some shit, you know, download some historical data, try for a few days, man. Like practice. Don't talk shit till you try it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like one of my boys. He was like, man, I don't like Latinas. And I was like, you ever been with one? He said, nah. I was like, then what the fuck are you talking about? I almost choked this nigga. Don't knock it till you try it. Fuck around and end up like me, man. With one in your house right now. Anyway, don't knock it till you try it. Back test it, like test the strategy and see if it works for you. I've had some people who just tried it and they said, yo, man, this shit works and made some money. Here's another caveat. One of my rules is I don't trade the first 2 minute candle. And the reason I don't is because anything can happen. It gets real wacky. You know, that's where a lot of standing orders are, and it gets crazy on that first 2 minute candle. So I don't trade the first 2 minute candle. For whatever reason, I broke that rule a few times and I won. So now it just wasn't a rule anymore. But then I broke it again and I fucking almost blew my account once, man, because this shit went way too out of hand. You solidified the rule. For my rule, never trade a 2 minute candle. That might not be your rule. I'm not saying you got to follow that rule. Whatever your rules are, always follow them. Don't break it for nothing. One of the reasons this strategy works so well for me is because once I feel like I had it, I practiced it. Meaning I would do what I told you to do. I downloaded historical data and then I ran through it, a bunch of market opens. I kept track of how many hours I spent doing this, and I practiced this shit for 200 hours before I started trading it with Apex. Not only did it help me give me more confidence in the strategy, but it also made me better at executing it. You can have rules and a plan and not execute them, but I got into the rhythm of practicing. Now, obviously, fucking sim trading is not the same as really trading, but that don't mean you shouldn't practice, right? It's like telling a basketball player that a fucking shooting free throws in the game is not the same as shooting free throws alone in the gym. Yeah, asshole, but you still got to practice, right? If you want to get good at anything, you got to practice. I've never met anyone who said, man, I sit down and practice one trading style for 200 hours in a row. Never met someone who did that, but I did. And it worked out well for me. Hey, here's a pro tip. This will really help. I bought this mouse. It's called the MX Master 35 and it's Logitech. What it does is it had these buttons that you can program. This one here, this one here, this here. And I programmed this button to be sell market, right? When I go, so I can go short from right here, like a joystick. Or this is buy market. So I can go long from right here. And this one's take profit. So I can just fucking get out of a trade or take profit whenever I need to. This shit is a game changer. I realized when I was doing my practice, sometimes I hit the wrong button, man. Y'all ever hit the wrong button? That shit happens. You know, now it's like I got a joystick. Sometimes it's like I'm playing Call of Duty in this motherfucker, man, when shit is moving fast and it's too fast for me to like place my limit orders. Like I showed you, it's like boom, Call of Duty sniping, you know, pew, pew, pew. Right. Then I also have a Stream Deck. It's a mini Stream Deck connected to my trading computer. It's one with 6 buttons, and I just programmed the Stream Deck. You got to do that with the hotkeys in Ninja Trader or whatever trading software. And I programmed the hotkeys, so I have a buy market button on my Stream Deck, a sell market button on my Stream Deck, a take profit button on my Stream Deck, and most importantly is I have a button that moves my stop loss to break even. So sometimes when shit is going fast and I don't want to get out, but I feel good, I just hit that, boom, move the stop loss to break even. That way, hey man, I can't really fucking lose except for like commissions, you know? And that's been super helpful. Those things have been super helpful. Listen, we're doing a free class, a free trading on Wednesday, August 6th. And I'm gonna break down my whole style, how to get funded account, because I'm not even trading my whole money, man. Yeah, it'll cost me like $30 for the evals. And then once you pass the evaluation phase, I paid like 100 something for each account to get it activated, and then I'm good. And boom, 50 grand. But I don't want to give the impression that this is easy or anybody's gonna be able to do it tomorrow, right? And also, if you want to join Apex, got a little code in there. You go ahead, join Apex, use that code, start getting some money with us. All right, let's get it.